Again, welcome everyone. So also for those that joined a bit later. Today we will talk about the application process and we will give you some tips in how to apply for your dream program. And obviously you will also find out a bit more about MSM and so on, but maybe good to start with a round of introductions. I am Alina. I am the recruitment officer for the MBA programs, and um, I will be your host for today together with Carlo and Sonia, and they will also get a chance to introduce themselves. Maybe very quickly about my role. I normally talk to candidates before they apply for a program at MSM to look at their CVs, to assess eligibility, and to help them and advise so they can have a smooth application process. Yeah, I would like to invite my colleague Carlo as well to introduce himself.
Thank you, Alina, and welcome to all of you. I'm really looking forward, for us at least, it's this afternoon to host this webinar. My name is Carlo. I'm from the Netherlands actually, but I have German roots as well. And for MSM, I'm working in the admissions team. So once Alina's job is kind of coming towards an end, advising you, and once you actually finalize your application, that's the moment where our job starts, and we support you with your application, reviewing, hopefully getting an admission until the actual start in Maastricht, preparing for your visa and anything else. That's it in short. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask in the chat also during the presentation. We're doing our best to answer as much as possible today. And now I'd like to give the word to my colleague Sanja to introduce herself.
Thank you both. So my name is Sanja. I am German Polish, so also very international, and I am part of the recruitment and communications offices, so a bit of both. And I also have some expertise as a recent Maastricht student. So if you also have any questions regarding more of the student life or kind of services overall, then you can also kind of drop those comments. But indeed, yeah, today will be a slightly different focus. But yeah, it's really great to see, where everyone is from, and great to meet everyone. And I'll throw it back to Alina.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Carlo. Okay, so just very quickly about the agenda for today. We will tell you a bit more about MSM and the programs, and then we will move on to what we are looking for in an MBA or a Master in Management candidate. And afterwards, my colleague Carlo will tell you a bit more about do's and don'ts, especially the don'ts in when you prepare your application. And we will have a Q&A session in which you can ask your questions to us. I would kindly ask you to use the Q&A chat box and not the comment box for this, because meanwhile, during the webinar, my colleague Sonia will also answer some of the questions that you might have, okay? Otherwise, some of them will be taken at the end. Great. Then if everybody's ready, we can get started. Just a bit of information about the Maastricht School of Management. Is one of the oldest schools in the Netherlands. It was founded in Delft in 1952, so more than 70 years experience when it comes to business. We also have outreach programs in different countries. We have quite an extensive alumni network that is very, very international. MSM as a tradition travels all over the world also for recruitment and other activities and projects. So you will, even if you don't stay in the Netherlands afterwards and you go back to your home country, we will always keep in touch. So we organize alumni events as well, and so on. So you get a chance to constantly network with our students and alumni. And then, as I mentioned, it's quite a diverse classroom. We will talk a bit more about that, but this is what you can expect from the MSM experience. Because we are also a Dutch school, but because we also believe that when you graduate one of our programs, we want you to apply what you learn immediately in the job world. We have a hands-on learning methodology. And we will tell you more about that as well. As a main focus of MSM, we do put a lot of emphasis on market trends, so innovation and sustainability, and our programs are also tailored for leaders that want to make the world a little better. And yeah, but more on that later. Then. Maybe very important for you to know, we have our programs have a Triple Crown accreditation, which means that 1% of business schools in the world have a Triple Crown accreditation. So it's a very internationally recognized degree. And next up is the campus that we offer. We have a modern campus in the center of Maastricht, and this is for you also to already start visualizing yourself as a student in Maastricht University. So we will talk about this, the country, the city, but for the campus, apart from the courses that you will have, you can see here a glimpse of how it looks like on the hallways or in the big park where the campus is located in the center. And obviously, Maastricht University has a lot of facilities for students that you can use, such as language center, library, study room, sports center as well for those who want to keep in shape, which we always recommend. And if you have any questions about that, Sonia did mention that she studied at Maastricht University, and she knows the ins and outs of this. We are located in the Netherlands, and you can see us here in the south of the Netherlands. Yeah, so Amsterdam is here, so 2 hours and a half away from Amsterdam. It's Maastricht, which is quite a strategic location because it's at the border with both Germany and Belgium. So you will find here, and Maastricht is an international city, and you will find a lot of people from Belgium and Germany coming here, and as an inside information, a lot of people that live here maybe live in Belgium and work in the Netherlands, or get gas in Belgium and groceries in Germany, and so on. So traveling is quite nice in this area. And it's also quite a touristic area because Dutch people from the north actually come on vacation because of the landscapes in the Maastricht and Limburg area. But about just very quickly about the Netherlands, it's quite English speaking, so 90% of population do speak English. Obviously, we always recommend you to know a bit of the language, so when you come here to know some words. But in the beginning, at least, while you are learning Dutch, you can get around to go to the store and just find your way as an international student with the English language as well. The education system is excellent and very practical. It's good value for money, and the Dutch culture is quite open and tolerant to other cultures, but also they invest a lot in innovation, entrepreneurship, and they are quite advanced when it comes to the new trends in the market and so on. Maybe good to know for those who want to also get some experience in the Netherlands and work here for a while. We do have a 1-year orientation permit, which means that you can stay after you graduate for 1 year in the Netherlands, and you have time to find a job. And it's one of the happy nations, so I think it's on the 5th place in the world of happy countries. So quality of life here is quite beautiful. I'm also not from the Netherlands. I'm from Romania originally, and I've been living here for 9 years. And I can say that that's one of my favorite things about the Netherlands, that it's very digitalized, modern, and the quality of life is good. And especially for those who are wondering, it's also quite safe. And we did mention all of this. As you can see also in this map, it's quite in the center of Europe. So if you want to even travel to other countries, you can find so many cheap and fast flights to different areas of Europe. And then you can also enhance a bit your experience when you have like a weekend off and explore other parts, not only the Netherlands. Maybe that's good to know. A little bit about Maastricht. It's not a huge city. I know that some of you come from cities with millions of people in population. It's quite a small city. It does feel like a city. You have everything you need, but you can get from one part to the other by bike in 20 minutes or so. So it we do get a lot of good feedback from our students that it's very international. So when you walk down the street, you can hear multiple languages. It's a student city, so you also have chances to connect and have fun with other students from Maastricht University, not only the ones from the School of Management per se. You can bike anywhere. Public transport is quite fast. It's quite historic. And so it's very cozy, but it does have quite a modern twist to it. And it's magical around the winter time. We just had a lot of snow a few weeks ago, and it was really beautiful with all the lights. And if you want to check that out, actually, we have a Live at MSM page on Instagram, and you can see all the updates from the students. They went to the Christmas market in Germany, in Aachen as well, and so on. So, and in the outside of the winter, we have quite amazing landscapes. So for those who love hiking and nature, there are a lot of opportunities to explore the areas around it. So that's a bit about Maastricht. Obviously, we have some videos available on our YouTube channel, and you can see yes, a campus tour and also Maastricht tour and so on. So I would incentivize all of you to explore it as well. All right. So we discussed about MSM, about Maastricht University, the Netherlands, and Maastricht as a city. So now you have a bit of an idea, and you can start visualizing yourself in Maastricht as a student. So we can actually start discussing the programs that we offer. I mentioned a bit earlier that we have quite a lot of experience when it comes to business, and this is what we do well, and we don't really branch out to other disciplines. So that's why we have very programs with a lot of business and leadership focus. So we have the Master in Management, and I will take each program one by one, and I will tell you what each one would offer you, so you can see which one is the right fit for you. Just so you know, we have a Master in Management that is more for freshly graduates with under 3 years of work experience, and then we have an MBA program that is offered on campus and online part-time as well. Yeah, so we will take them one by one. Then the Master in Management is a 1-year program, English taught. It starts in September, and obviously Triple Crown accredited. And you can see that we have people from all over the world joining this program from a lot of different continents as well, but also with different backgrounds. So obviously the maximum work experience that you can have is 3 years. So it's between 0 and 3 years of work experience. And normally this program is perfect for freshly graduates that even want their first promotion and manager role. Yeah, so it's quite a nice program because also within the classroom there is a nice balance in cultures and experience, but also in male and female. In the gender part, we do have quite a nice blend as well. So this is a bit about the Master in Management, and I will move on to the next on-campus program. So Master in Management is fully on campus for 1 year, and the full-time MBA is also fully on campus for 1 year as well. But the full-time MBA, it's offered for professionals with over 3-4 years of full-time work experience. Yeah, so it's a bit different than the Master in Management. And it's as diverse as the Master in Management. We have people from all over the world and from various backgrounds as well. Okay. And with the Master in Management, you had 60 credits, and with the full-time MBA, you have 70 credits, and the full-time MBA also has a specialization as well. And with the thesis part for Master in Management and the full-time MBA, there are some differences there as well. Maybe that's good to know in case you are a bit, you have like 3-4 years of work experience, you are a bit in the gray area, you don't know if it's the Master in Management or the full-time MBA that you want to go for, then you can always contact me, and we can have a chat based on your CV, which program is the right fit for you. But normally with the full-time MBA, we have people with 9 years of work experience on average. So it can be less or even more, even up to 20 years. So it's a bit of a different than with the Master in Management. And another MBA program that we offer is a part-time online MBA program. This is a bit different. It's for people that can't really afford to take 1 year from their other lives to come to the Netherlands and study full-time. So it's a 2 year to 4 year part-time program, and you can study the Global Online MBA apart from your job as well. And the next for the on-campus program, they will start in September, but the online program will start. One intake is now in March, and another intake is in August in 2026. When it comes to the classroom, we have a lot of we have 17 nationalities at the moment, and on average 10 years of work experience, people from all different sectors as well. And a lot of our students work in Europe or the Netherlands and have a different nationality, but we also have students in Africa or Latin America. Even Asia that are based somewhere in a good time zone to also attend the classes of the Global Online MBA. All right, then we can move on to the MBA expertise tracks. That's one element and one difference between the Master in Management and the MBA program. The MBA program also offers you the possibility to specialize in a field depending on your career goals. And these are the different scholarship, the different expertise tracks. And that's something you don't need to know 100% sure when you apply. It's good to have some options in the beginning, but it's actually good to go through some courses, and at the end of your MBA or midway, you can decide on which scholarship, which expertise track you want to take up, depending on your career goals. All right, let's talk about one of the most important parts of the programs, the tuition fee. Tuition fees are as follows. So the Global Online MBA is 29,000 euros, and it has up to 20% partial scholarship opportunities. And the on-campus programs, the full-time MBA, 34,000 euros plus 35% partial scholarship and Master in Management 20,500 and 35% partial scholarship. Okay. Normally, to know which scholarship is the right fit for you, because we look a lot on the background, it's good if you send us your CV and we can have a call, and the recruiter can actually advise you in what to choose for the program. Maybe good to know, and this is something that Carlo will also mention and go a bit more into detail, that when you apply, you need to also know the scholarships that you apply for, and you need to apply with your scholarships in the same time of the rest of the application. But we will talk about that a bit later as well. When it comes to teaching philosophy, we have a hands-on learning methodology, which means that we make a lot of effort to create an experience that can stick with you even after you graduate. So our philosophy is learn by doing. We have a lot of different activities in the program. Normally, we teach in modules. So, for example, for the on-campus programs, we have every 2 weeks you have another course. So 1 week you are in class, and 1 week you do practical work. So it might be an assignment, might be a company visit, might be a different activity that the lecturer gives you. But also within the classroom, there are a lot of collaborations and discussions and debating and sharing of experience. So normally it's advised to already do your readings before the classroom. So in the classroom, you can focus on the learning per se. Yeah, so we have a lot of simulation games. So we try to use AI as much as possible. We have guest lecturers and other activities that can enhance your learning experience. But also when it comes to how the lecturers teach the course, they don't use only one book or two books. They actually use a lot of case study, a lot of articles, a lot of videos and podcasts and books, and it's a lot of information from many different sources, so you can have quite a complete learning experience, and you can remember as much as possible from the course. And in my opinion, what I think the best learning experiences are the assignments that you get at the end, because during the assignment you get a chance to take your own experience and even your own company, given you have available data, and apply what you learn, and so the academic frameworks and methodologies for that particular company. So I think that's one of the most important moments where the learning actually happens. And when it comes to the classroom, actually, maybe good to give you a bit of details about how many students we have in the classroom and how many nationalities. Obviously, each year it's a different cohort, but on average, we have up to 35 to 40 students, and we have up to between 15 20 nationalities per cohort, yeah, depending on the program as well, and so on. So it is very international, and obviously there is a lot of group work happening, so you will have to develop or have multicultural sensitivity as well. It's also exciting, but it can be challenging. And obviously, our classrooms are filled with students from a lot of different career paths and backgrounds, so different industries, different jobs, different years of experience, but also different nationalities. And of course, each motivation to do a management course or an MBA program, it's quite different. Some people want to change their careers, others want to start a business, others want to change to advance in the same career that they have, but get a more top-tier manager role, for example. So it really depends on each individual. Is very personal, and you will find so many amazing stories with so many ambitious people in your classroom, and this is also one very exciting element of the master programs. Apart from the knowledge that you will get in the classroom, we also offer a career and personal development track, which means that we also care, besides the, business sensitivity that you will get. It's very important that you also develop the soft skills and yourself as a person, but also develop networking abilities and make sure you increase your chances to get an amazing job after you graduate. Yeah, so we want to give you all the tools that you need, so the knowledge, the skills, and the network, which means that this career and personal development track can help you with understanding the Dutch market, mock interviews, CV assessments, also coaching on for example, interview techniques and presentation skills and the communication skills. We also have a big event called Corporate Week, where companies from all around the Netherlands come and they present what they do. And then you get a chance to meet the companies and what position they have and so on. You get a chance to meet our alumni. And we have a lot of different events as well. Well, we also have fun events. For example, now in February, we will organize the carnival. I don't know if you know a lot about the Dutch carnival, but it's something to check out. We have international dinners and yeah, a lot of different elements to the master programs. That's something to keep in mind, because it's not going to be only about the classes, but it's a full experience in itself, and you will get all the tools that you need to advance in your careers after graduation. Speaking about advancing in your career, the first step is to actually go for a management degree. That's why you are all here. We will tell you a bit more about what we look for when we read your application and when we see your full profile. Because for MSM, it's not only about your CV and your transcripts and your bachelor degree and so on. Obviously, those are very important. But we also look into candidates that have certain skills that we think that will be useful and will make your life easier when you start such an intense program as one of the programs we offer. So the first skill that we look for is hardworking, and obviously each company or university, everybody's looking for hardworking people. But what does it mean? It means that we want people that like a challenge, because this program is not for the it's actually designed for people that love challenges. It's a one-year program. You have 70 credits. You need to deliver all the 70 credits, plus you have your specialization for the MBA, for example, but you also have your thesis. Then you want to find a job after graduation. You want to develop yourself as a person, have fun, network, and meanwhile, you might also have that culture shock and so on. So many things will happen in that just 1 year. So we call it a pressure cooker. So I think a very important skill that you need to have is that you are not afraid of a challenge and you are hardworking. And you can also manage your time properly. Okay? Then motivated. Motivated meaning that you know what you want to do with what you will learn and the tools that you will get during the MBA or the Master in Management. You already have a strategy for your career, and you know why you are doing such a program, because any of the programs are big investments. Obviously, it takes a lot of effort to apply, to do all the payments, to come to the Netherlands, to take 1 year from your life, to be here, to study. It's a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy, and it will take everything you have. So you need a right motivation. You need a vision for your career. And obviously, some of you maybe come to, for example, in the master in management, come here to get that vision. And whatever your motivation is, just know that you need to have a great motivation to apply for this program. And Carlo probably will also give you some tips on how to do a great motivation letter, and especially what not to do in a great motivation letter. That's very important. Uniqueness. This actually has to do with what makes you special. So any hobbies, any skills that you might have, then that is yeah, always good to mention in your CV, in your motivation, and so on. We say all rounders, which mean that you have a good blend between analytical, but also you know yourself and all people skills, yeah, and you have a good self-awareness as well. Well balanced has to do with how you balance your energy as well and how you face challenges and openness to experience. So we always incentivize people to raise their hands in the classroom, speak up, read whatever you need to read, and be curious at all in all courses and moments in the master experience. And this is the only way you can actually get return on investment from your master's degree, and a great way to learn and a great way to really feel like you were present in your own learning experience. Yeah. So keep in mind, that's what we look for. Obviously, each candidate is different. We normally look holistically at each one of you. So it's again not only about the CV or the motivation letter, or it's who you are as a whole. Yeah. But because I'm looking at the time as well, I will uh, move on. And before I move on, I will leave you with one last idea. MSM has been building responsible leaders for 70 years now, and it's when I say responsible, there is a key word, because we don't just want the leaders that want the latest Ferrari and the biggest mansion. And I wish that all of you have that as well. But we are looking for people that actually want to make a difference in the world, that want to have an impact in maybe in their own home country, or in globally. Who knows? They have an idea and they want to contribute. Even if you have your own team in a company and you make your teammates' lives better, and you know how to be a responsible leader. Yeah, so that's our goal. This is what we are looking for in a candidate. And yeah, if you resonate with that, make sure you also highlight it in your application. Now, it's time to discuss the do's and don'ts when it comes to submitting your application. And I would like to invite Carlo to take the presentation further.
So thank you, Alina. And indeed, if you're triggered by what has been said by Alina and the way we're doing things at MSM or what we can offer you, then this is the moment to take your eyes off your phone and really look into the webinar and watch the slides. If you have any questions, please go on, ask them in the Q&A. We'll try to cover them during the presentation and otherwise at the end. But to get back to this, admissions and the scholarships, do's and don'ts, I'll take you through a part of orientation. We go through the deadline and the timeline, some content and the process. So if we can go to the next slide, please, where I'll talk a bit about the orientation phase. I think. Yeah, perfect. So first and foremost, what's really important, please, get to know us. Have a look at social media and really use the help you're getting. I'm happy to see that a lot of you are in this webinar, attending it, grabbing some of the key points, attend master classes. But I think, and that's also one of my advices, what I would like to give you, please get in touch with recruiters, with colleagues, with us, with people you met, because they can, talk to you, share firsthand experience, but also have a look into your personal situation, because oftentimes, you have a very individual story, and we like to get to know you as well, see whether there's alignment between what we can offer you, what we are looking for, but also what you are looking for, so that you have a great year or a great time at MSM, and that you actually get a step closer to whatever your goal and ambition is. So please get in touch with us as much as possible. We will also tell you if we think there's not a good fit, or some things might change, because we are trying to be as transparent and direct as possible. By the way, the Dutch are very direct, so that will be something you experience when being in the Netherlands. That said, what you shouldn't do in the orientation phase is bomb us with a lot of emails asking separate questions with things that can be found on the website as well. Because of course, things that can be easily found on the website, information-wise, is something you could look up yourself. It says something about how prepared you are. But of course, we're very happy to answer specific questions, and also plan a call to just see in what situation you are and how we can help each other. I think that's that much it. If we go to the next slide, I'll start off sharing some very important deadlines with you. Yeah. Please note that these are the final deadlines. Later on in the application, later on in the presentation, I'll share some more deadlines and dates, but these are the final deadlines for this year's intakes. So you can see that the full-time programs, so the Master in Management and the full-time MBA, starting in September 2026, the application deadline will close in July for non-EU applicants, and in August for EU applicants. Why is there a difference? Because for the non-EU applicants, we need additional time to prepare for your visas, and that's why there's a slight difference in the final application deadline. For the online MBA, there are two intakes. One deadline has just passed for the March intake, but there's another intake in August, and there the application deadline is in July. Then an additional note, and I highlighted it in bold, if you want to apply for a scholarship, and there are lots of them, we will go over some scholarship information as well in the upcoming slides, but if you want to apply for some scholarships, this needs to be done in your application. So only scholarships included in your initial application will be reviewed. The reason for that is that we need to include it in the full picture, and we also need time to process that scholarship application as well. And to be fair to everybody, we only review scholarships that are included in the initial application. So keep that in mind. If you're not sure what to include for the scholarship application, get in touch with us before you hit the submit button. Okay, if we go to the next slide, a bit about the timeline for your application. Yeah, so it's what I said before. Please do your research on the content of the application and also the deadlines, and submit in time. It's why it's called a deadline, to submit in time and not to submit a day later. So that would be a pity if you miss out on some of the benefits or the time and preparation we calculate. That's also why we put a certain deadline as in a deadline. There are multiple application rounds. So what I just explained in the previous slide was the final application deadline, but there are multiple application rounds where there are deadlines in between. The earlier you do it, the more time we have to prepare, the more time we have to go over your personal questions, or actually to complete your application, and make sure that it's ready to go to the final round. So please take that in mind, and all that information is on our website as well. So if we go to the next slide, I'm gonna talk a bit more about the phase and the steps you're going through. On our website, you can find a portal. You need to log in, make a profile, and once you have that, you can start adding documents to your application. And please bear in mind, and that's actually good for you, that you can take your time doing this, and you can, log in the day after or a week after. If you, for example, don't have your motivation letter ready yet, but you do have your CV and your passport and some other documents already, you can upload them, and at a later time, add documents to that application. We have a CV, proof of English, passport, motivation letter. Some of these points I'll go through later. We do request proof of English in case you did your previous studies in English. Then there we need some proof of. Also, all the specific requirements are mentioned on our website. And then we also ask for a GMAT or a GRE result, but we have our own leveling courses as well. So in case you didn't do a GMAT or a GRE, that's not a problem. You don't need to do that, because after you've eventually get the admission offer, and before the start of the classes, we asked to do some leveling courses or preparatory courses, and they are included also in the tuition fee. So there's no need at MSM to go through the hustle of preparing for a GMAT before even applying. And then the scholarship application, like I said, you need to do that within your initial application. Once you have everything ready, you'll need to pay an application fee of 95 euros, and then you can submit the application. And from that moment onwards, we'll start to review and make sure everything is complete, check that, and then we go through the next steps. So if we go to the next slide, about the CV, we've got some questions about whether there is a specific format required for a CV. There is not a single format required. However, we do ask to keep it, for example, clean, check your spelling, grammar, make sure that it comes across professional, include everything we need to know, academic experience, work experience, but also extracurricular activities, what could, what pictures you, but also don't make it too long. 5 pages is definitely too long. Try to limit it to 1 or 2 pages. In case, for example, you have a gap in your CV, or something less professional happened in between, it's always good to keep it as close as possible to the reality. What happened, if you don't feel like explaining it, that's fine. But we do need to understand, the path you chose and the way you the choices you made from studying to working and so on. If we understand that, then we get to know you, and then we can have a better feel of who you are and whether you fit in our classroom, yes or no. So, for example, in case you do have let's say a gap in work experience due to personal reasons, instead of trying to hide it, let us know in advance, or for example, talk about it in a motivation letter, and maybe look at it at a way that what kind of positive things did you get out of it, and how did it help you to get there where you are now, and then we can actually work with it, and then we get a clear picture. On the next slide, as for your motivation letter, the first point is mention your the correct school and program. Why is it included in the presentation? Because of course we know that oftentimes you also apply to some other schools, which is perfectly fine. But then do mention the correct one once you're applying to MSM, because it's a bit of a rookie mistake So we warn you for that. More importantly, make it personal, make it your own story. Really, why MSM specifically? Why Maastricht in the Netherlands, and why not another country? Why do you want to do a program, whether it be a master or an MBA? What do you want to achieve with it? What is your goal? And if we know that, we can also help you towards that goal and achieving that goal. Not only during your studies, but also after. We try to support you as much as possible in that whole journey. And that's something we would like to read in the motivation letter. On the other hand, don't use a general template, don't use AI or anything like that, because it's not really showing a unique story. And that's actually what we're looking for. And of course, not plagiarize. That's also something which is coming back in the curriculum as well. That's really a red flag. If we move on, the interview, I'm going to go a bit quicker because another step is the interview. Once all the documents are complete, you fulfill all the kind of requirements on paper, we plan an interview with two colleagues where we just want to get to know you. It's an informal conversation. And this is also your chance to ask us some questions, because it's a two-way street. We would love that your expectations align with the way we are doing things, and that only works if you're in the Netherlands for a whole year. That only works if there's a mutual benefit and that you really fit in the classroom. One comment here: if possible, we know that in some countries it's a bit difficult, more difficult than in others, but please make sure you have a stable internet connection, because otherwise we cannot have a fluent conversation. And please be on time and prepared. That would be very nice, because we're also taking time with two colleagues to talk to you. So we would like you also to kind of respect that, be on time and be prepared. Then the next step: what happens after you apply? We try to do the review as soon as possible, get back to you whether everything is complete. If so, plan an interview. And after the interview, the whole package goes to the admission board. And when they make a decision, that's depending on when you apply. So like I said, there are application rounds. Within 10 or 15 working days after the application window from that current round, we will get back to you, share the decision of the admission board, and that's either an admission or, in case that's not granted, a rejection. And if it's an admission, we will send you a letter with the offer. You can read through it. All the details are in there, and decide whether or not to take the offer. Like I said before, the application will only be considered if it's complete by the application window deadline. So if you have some time, please do not wait until the very last day of the deadline in case something is missing or is not fully complete, or we want some additional information. It might be the case that we need to move your application to the next application round, which would be a pity. So please be on time, make sure everything is included. And if not, then we work together to get everything complete, but we need time to make it complete. And therefore, please do not wait until the last day of the deadline. That is just making life easier for us, but also for you. The next slide, please. The application phase. Like I said before, actually respect deadlines. Do not apply too late. I almost said everything already. So we can move on to the next one, which is a more important one about the scholarships. Alina said before, scholarships can be combined up to 35% as a maximum discount on the full tuition fee. For the online MBA, that's maximum 20%. That means there are no full scholarships available, but only a scholarship in the form of a discount of the tuition fee. There are 3 merit-based scholarships, so the Academic Excellence, Women Ambassadorship, and the Excellence in Versatility scholarships. And there, the amount is slightly higher than the 35%. For the MM, that's 9,000 euros, and for the MBA, that's 15,000 euros. And if this is awarded, then that replaces all of the other scholarships. For the regular ones, and there is a whole list, and because the list is so long, I didn't include all of them in one PowerPoint slide. So please go to our website. There is a page with a list of all the scholarships. Look through it, see whether you recognize yourself in one of the descriptions of the scholarships. Get in touch with us, and then we can double check, see whatever documents you need to actually prove or make your case, and then include that in your application for the scholarships. The regular ones are reviewed after each application round. So once you applied, you immediately get to know in the offer whether you get the scholarship, yes or no. And the 3 higher ones will be reviewed after the 1st of May. Then on the next slide, and this is the next key deadline of the application round, that's the 10th of April. Why is this date so important? Because this is marking the closure of the early bird discount. So after this, there's no early bird discount available anymore. And that's the final opportunity for you to apply for the 3 scholarships I just mentioned, the Women Ambassadorship, the Academic Excellence, and the Excellence in Versatility, since they're a bit higher than all of the others, which is, attracting to you. But we also need time to review them, choose the best out of them, because for all of those, there are only 3 spots per program available. For the online MBA, a bit less. But the 10th of April is a very important deadline if you want to make use of one of these scholarships and of the early bird discount. And then one more comment, the early bird, in order to get the early bird, you also need to pay the first installment 1st of May, but that's a side note, which will be fine. All right. I think that's set. We covered mostly everything. I'm just going to proceed a bit in, telling you why you should apply soon. First of all, for securing your spot in a class, we have concise a class sizes of around 30-35 people. Next to that, housing in the Netherlands, not only in the Netherlands, but also in the Netherlands and also in Maastricht, is challenging, especially if you start looking too late. So that's also one of the reasons why we, recommend to start applying soon. And the sooner you apply, the more time we have to prepare, and also to inform you, for example, about the student visa. And like I said, some scholarships have a deadline, also the early bird discount. So another reason to apply well in time. I think I'm 2 slides ahead from here. Yeah. So these are, again, the reasons why you should apply soon. And of course, we hope to see some applications coming in. We're, like I said, more than happy to go over your individual situation before you hit the submit button. So make use of that, make use of us, ask your questions. And because I saw that there are quite some questions coming in the Q&A and also in the chat, we go 1 slide further. And I'm going to ask my colleague Sonia to read out some of the questions we can answer live. So either Alina or I are going to answer some of them.
So thank you very much for everyone that wrote in a question. At the very beginning, I saw that there was a question about the slides in the presentation. So also very quickly, the slides in the presentation will be shared afterwards for everyone that registered. And then very quick second answer, there was a question regarding the webinar as a part of the fair discount. And unfortunately, attending the webinar does not count as part of the fair discount. Usually that is reserved for when you meet us at one of the fairs that we have globally in person, occasionally if a part of the fair is online. However, you can check the events page that we have. If you are somewhere in the area and would like to qualify for the fair discount, maybe we will be coming to a city near you and you will be able to qualify. But then moving on to the first question, to very quickly scroll back. Okay, so going down with the Q&A box, if you still have questions, you can still type it in now. Um, Maybe this is, yeah, for Carlo for admissions. So how long is the graduate visa applied?
Yeah. So in the Netherlands, you have the so-called orientation visa or the zoekjaar, and that's a residence permit which allows you to stay 1 more year after your studies to find a job or to start your own business. So I hope that answers your question.
And then is there any specific format required for the CV?
Like I said, there's no single format, but we try to keep it professional. Try not to make it too long, but do include all the important information. So yeah, that's it. If you want more specific, there's one slide, CV slide in the presentation. You have a look at that again. And if you really want to make sure, talk with one of the recruiters if you have some specific questions.
Then maybe quickly before we continue, because I see that there are quite a lot of questions going in, we will go 5 minutes over to try to answer as many questions as we can. But whoever needs to leave now, of course, if you have any further questions for us, I can, of course, our contact details will be afterwards shared in the follow-up email. So please reach out to us with any further questions. But for now, we will continue. I see that the next question in the chat is regarding, yeah, waivers regarding the GMAT and the English requirements. Um, if you have, again, further questions very specifically about the waivers regarding your specific situations, not to speak for you, Carlo, but of course, reach out to us personally because we might be
Yeah.
able to better answer on a one-by-one basis. So that's what I would also recommend. And then maybe more of a specific question also for you, Carlo. How long does it take to get a student visa for the Netherlands for an applicant from Nigeria?
Yeah. So generally, where you're coming from does not matter. For everybody, it takes as long as it takes. We go step by step together with you to prepare everything. We do the visa application for you. That goes for everyone. And then from that moment onwards, we normally say 4 to 6 weeks that the IND, the immigration office, takes. But on beforehand, we need to have all the preparations done. And we normally start around end of May, preparing your visa. Again, if you have specific questions of your specific case, don't worry, don't hesitate to email us. But we have experience also with Nigeria and with many other countries, so we know how it goes.
And then maybe for Alina more so, I also saw in the chat box that there were some questions regarding the structure of the assignments and the exams for the MBA program. Could you elaborate a bit?
Yes. First of all, we don't have exams or tests. We only have assignment, and you will normally be graded according to that assignment. It might be a split between a small assignment in a group work and an individual assignment, but depending on the program as well and the lecturer and so on. But normally it's only based on assignments, and what you can expect is obviously each lecturer has different requirements and so on, but it's normally a written paper and applying a lot of different references and methodologies, and you blend, let's say, data with your own experience, maybe with the company that you choose, but also with the academic frameworks. So that's something you can expect from the assignments.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then looking at the next one, we are also getting quite a lot of questions, yeah, for the interview. So we can also maybe give a bit of an insight for the interview process, maybe from the inside, what kind of questions maybe can they expect to be asked without, of course, giving too much away, or what kind of tone is the conversation in?
Yeah. Well, the first advice is if you work on your motivation letter and you do a proper reflection, motivation letter normally is 3, 4 pages. I think you will also be prepared for the interview as well. We in the interview we want to know a bit more about who you are, so we will talk about a lot about what do you do outside of your CV, and education, and so even hobbies or skills that you have or lessons learned, and we want to make sure you have the right motivation as well. So we will ask a lot about, what do you want to do with the degree after you graduate, your career plans in the future, and questions like that.
Mhm. Thank you. Um, and then maybe Carl, I'll throw it back to you again very briefly for the video question regarding the scholarships. So maybe you could just very quickly just clarify that again.
Yeah, from the top of my head, there's one scholarship which does ask for. By the way, there are scholarships who need more proof or additional documentation when applying for it, whether it be an essay, for example, where you write 2, 3 pages about why that scholarship, aligns with what you did. And there is also a scholarship where we ask for video or social media, and that's the Excellence and Versatility Scholarship, where you could, add that amongst others. I believe it is not mandatory, but of course it does create a full picture, which is nice for us when choosing. So, and that's also making your application for the scholarship, of course, stronger.
Mhm. And then quickly, still looking over the questions. Then maybe I'll throw it to Alina again. So someone asked, is it first come, first serve for the places, or are all applications evaluated together and then decided upon?
Mm-hmm. It's first come, first served, mainly. And if the classes are full, then we will stop the applications a bit earlier. So you need to be quick. Also, Carlo mentioned what we recommend also to go through the entire application process and so on is to apply by April 10. It depends if you're non-EU and EU. But yeah, we had cases where for certain programs we had to close early, and some people couldn't get in anymore. So it's good to be on time.
Mhm. And then also looking through the questions, I am seeing quite a lot of questions that are very specific regarding people's backgrounds, education, work experience. And also for the sake of the time for the webinar, I would very highly recommend that people send the questions with as much information, CV that you have to our specific admissions contact, simply since then we can also much more in-depth dive into your background than here on the webinar. So that's what I also recommend. If we don't answer them now,
Yeah.
please reach out to us because we would really like to answer them for you.
I do
Um,
have, sorry to interrupt. I do have a small comment about
yeah.
because I see a few about the references, and that's really quite a fast thing to tell you. For the Master in Management, we're looking for academic references, at least one. And for the MBA, we need at least 2 professional references. If you give us 2 professional references and one, so a third academic one, that's perfectly fine. Or for the Master in Management, if you give us a professional one instead of an academic one, that's also fine. But especially for the MBA, we need at least 2 professional references.
Mhm. Mm,
Okay. I think this is all we have time for, unfortunately.
mhm.
And any questions that you might have, please reach out to us, and we are more than happy to answer that. But also, if you send us your CV to continue the conversation, and I will also close off by saying that depending on the program that you will apply for, there are different contact points. So for the any MBA program, you can contact me, and we will send all the details after this, plus the recording, plus the presentation. And for the
Mhm.
Master in Management, my colleague Gianluca, he is in the audience today, but
Mhm.
we will send his contacts as well, and he is the Master in Management recruiter as well. Yeah, so
Mhm.
and sometimes we can have online meetings, but also we do fly in different parts of the world to South Africa, to Costa Rica, Mexico, Turkey, Italy, and so on. Also Asia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Singapore. So when keep an eye on our socials, and we will make sure to maybe even schedule a face-to-face meeting if we are in your country in the next period. Okay. So we will leave it at that, and we will send all the contact details and all the information. But I'm very happy to see that so many of you have taken time from their lives to be here with us today. So we really appreciate that. And let's keep in touch with the next steps of your application. And I wish you all a great evening or morning. And yeah, take care, everyone.
Thank you again, everyone. Nice evening.
Thank you.